music to maybe like a 5%, 3%, even 5% is a little too much. Yeah, there you go, 3% on YouTube. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend. Nice little time off from the market. My internet died on Thursday. I was streaming for the STN guys on Thursday, and then randomly my internet just died and I did not get it back, so I could not stream for you guys. But you know, we're back here, we're locked and we're loaded. Lots of stuff to talk about. Well, not really a lot of stuff to talk about, but some stuff to talk about for us to be prepared for tomorrow. Hopefully some ideas that can be generated from what's going on right now, such as the weed sector, the earnings basket. We got an IPO on I want to say Thursday. No, Wednesday. We have an IPO on Wednesday, so some stuff for us to quickly glance over as we prepare for the coming week. So a little bit of a shorter stream because not a lot of hot movers, not a lot of excitement going on at the moment, at least not for myself. So just a small watch list, quick little notes on what I'm looking at for the coming week ahead, and then as we dive deeper into the week, you can see that things are getting a little bit busier. We also have some big economic events this week coming up, so we'll dive a little bit into that too. Starting with the earnings calendar, very muted over here. You got some names, ABVX if you're interested, but very muted. Tomorrow you have a home builder, Lennar, LEN. That one's going to be interesting after hours. JBL, Jawbill pre-market, that's a good name. So Wednesday pre-market, you have some some good names on the board. Micron, General Mills, Jawbill, JBL. So keeping an eye on some of these big boys. Thursday pre-market, you have FactSect, but more importantly, you have Nike and FedEx after hours. So those are some good companies to keep an eye out for. Nike I think has tried to come back up out on top. We'll see if they actually manage to do that. Can't forget CarMax or Cintas. Those are some good names out there too. And cruise liners, Carnival Cruise Line, CCL on Friday pre-market. So still a pretty okay earnings board out there for those of you who really care about earnings stocks or the earnings catalyst in general. There's still some good names out there for the day traders. I think nothing to be worried about, because usually when one earnings cycle comes to an end, you have a dry period where you don't have a lot of good earnings names to trade. But what I've been noticing is they've been spreading out the gap between earnings recently. So we've been having a lot more opportunities, thankfully. And yeah, good names still coming in. Birkenstock, Scholastic's not really as important, but FedEx, KBH Homes, Carnival Cruise Line, Micron, that's a semiconductor name, obviously. Jawbill, for the last 2 times they reported earnings, it was on an absolute heater. So that's a good name always when we're looking for previous runners in the market run. If they report well and they run again, that's some good names to always be involved in. So couple opportunities setting up for the coming week ahead. Let's quickly go to the IPO calendar. I just want to show you guys the IPO coming up on the Wednesday. That's Medline Inc. So about $26 to $30 price expected range. $6 billion offer amount. That's a pretty big offer amount. Probably one of the bigger companies out there. And from our quick little research we've done on this company, they actually are profitable, if I remember correctly, and we'll dive deeper into them tomorrow. So you make sure you tune in tomorrow at 4:30, and then we'll see exactly what's going on with MDLN. And also there's another group, Anderson Group Inc. Another stock, Anderson Group Inc. Not as big, but still pretty decent offer amount, 200 million offer amount, with the $14 to $16 price point expected on ANDG. So for sure, keeping an eye on both of these names. And like I said, we'll be diving deeper into those names for tomorrow, getting ready for Wednesday. So make sure you tune in for those bad boys. Let's head over to the next big important thing to show, which is the economic calendar for the week ahead. A little bit of a busy economic calendar. today you didn't, well, today's done, so we'll move on past today. But tomorrow you have services global manufacturing PMI, so 9:45 you have the PMI numbers, you have the retail numbers at 8:30, unemployment numbers at 8:30, non-farm payrolls at 8:30, core retail sales at 8:30. So all the way from 8:30 to 9:45, that's basically the only 3-star events that we have lined up for tomorrow. It looks like it's a fairly packed, so lots of econ data at 8:30 and then 9:45. Wednesday, nothing at all on board on Wednesday, but Thursday you have core CPI or CPI in general, which is clearly a very big important metric, right? Especially for the FOMC committee as they look at CPI, PCI, PMI, PCE, and all these other specific inflation related numbers to help them fight the battle that they've been trying to fight ever since COVID, basically. So a couple opportunities setting up potentially in pre-market for you futures traders, even maybe QQQ and so on if you're interested in that. But more importantly, idea as to how the market will be playing forward based off of these numbers. Maybe Bitcoin can have a rally back up if CPI is good. Currently Bitcoin is struggling back under 90k, back to the $85,000 area. So currently a little turmoil, you know, markets seeing some pain. Oracle giving a lot of its gains to the back to the downside. AVGO pulling back pretty hard. Nvidia looking like it wants to go down also. Apple is getting ready to break down at the moment. So just a lot of weakness across the board on the market, and maybe we don't get the all-time high as I was expecting. You know, I was expecting a new all-time high on the market before the end of the year, but maybe we don't get the all-time high before the end of the year. The way it's setting up at the moment, at the very least, it looks like things could get a little ugly before going into the next year. Right now on S&P 500, I'm looking at 679, which is basically last week's low and today's low. So if we actually do manage to get below today's low and last week's low, I think that would open up some room for the S&P 500 at least to 676, and then maybe even deeper based on how big of a pullback the market really wants to present us with. So keeping an eye across the board for some short ideas, keeping an eye for some long trades also, but mostly for the shorts at the moment. In terms of long trades, mainly it's ANF and AEO. Both of these stocks have been on a monumental run from their earnings reports. Here's ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch. Insane run at the moment. Potentially some sort of a first red day short setting up in the near future. And then you have AEO, American Eagle, another name that reported earnings and just kept going higher and higher. Can't stop, won't stop. So on an MC Hammer run at the moment. iRobot, which is in the robotics sector, has caught a lot of traction recently from the $2, $1.50 into $6. But overnight you had a catalyst come out and say that basically, hey, we're going bankrupt. And if we do go bankrupt, shareholders will not get their equivalent value in cash back. You're going to lose every single dollar when we do go bankrupt. So because of that, you saw a 70%, near 70% more drop on this name coming in. So pretty ugly over here on iRobot. Imagine anyone who bought it on this run up from that 150 to the $6 run up, and they thought that things were gonna get turned around. We've seen previously Chapter 11 bankruptcy related companies have turned the corner. Maybe some buyer comes in and steps in and so on. But yeah, Roombas, iRobot, they've just been struggling, man. Even though their name is iRobot, they are pretty much probably, I'd say, the dumbest robots out there, right? They're not the genius robots out there that Tesla and other companies want to make for you, right? So iRobot, the dumbest vacuum robots, and at this current day and age, you realistically have much cheaper competitors coming out of China almost every single day that do the exact same thing. So I'm just not seeing how iRobot comes out victorious, other than the fact that maybe someone comes out, buys out iRobot, because they want to keep the American branding and the is it even American? I don't know, but I'm just, you know, going off the idea that it's American. They want to keep the branding alive. They want to keep the history alive almost like what happened with Bugatti, right? Bugatti once got sold, the company got shut down, and then it got recreated again, but somebody who's not even actually in the Bugatti family, they just wanted to keep the car alive, and so on. So maybe someone wants to come in and do something crazy like that. Maybe iRobot lives, but I just don't see how iRobot can continue having profitability and turn the page like Carvana or something, right? Turn the page and get back to being an amazing company that they once were. It's just way too much competition in the space, and having to pay so much for a Roomba is also crazy, right? So it's just not something that I'm seeing them come out on top. Overall, that just means short all pops, looking for the stock to keep popping up. Maybe some short covering. You know, you did catch the short from $6, so whoever caught this short from $6 going into $1, ideally they're looking for the stock to get below $1, go into go sub-dollar prices, but you would expect them to take some profits on a 72% gain overnight over the week, right? So based off of that, I'm looking for some SSR bounces, some short sale restriction longs, some holding of $1 area, which basically came into play today. Today's low was 107, the holding of somewhere around $1, giving you that clean long opportunity right off the hold of $1. Looks like that was actually even in after hours or pre-market, we actually hit 60-cent low. So yeah, look at that, nice little long on the mean reversion back through. Not that the company is profitable and gonna make money, it's just you're banking on the mean reversion tendencies of the trade that there is. Okay, now Trump is coming out and trying to turn weed legal for America. So Tilray made a little bit of a move back and forth. I think MSOS, which is the ETF for marijuana in general, that's a good one to keep an eye on. There's also other stocks out there like weed.to. This is in the Canada side. I think for you American, it's CGC. Is that still a ticker? Yes, it is CGC on the American side. That's a USD equivalent. Overall, yeah, fentanyl being classified as the number one problem for America, and weed being declassified, or at least he wants it to be declassified and put into Schedule 3, not a Schedule 1, which is currently it is. And this is bringing overall stocks to the upside. But if I have a good memory, which I think I do, you know, I was trading through the weed legalization time zone in Canada, right? These stocks were going up in crazy prices, and then eventually they got completely corrected to the downside. Like, weed's not that hard to grow, and with weed being legalized, you're basically, you know, taking the money away from the black market, which is good. You're now also creating a market where you can tax it, which is some more revenue for the government. But it's one of the more easier things to grow when it comes to a drug. So I just don't see how any company that sells weed is going to come out on top and win all over again, right? They tried and they failed. It's just not possible in my opinion, right? We'll see. America being the big consumer that America is, you know, possibly some of these Canadian companies who have been well established in the business already are able to go ahead and really come out profitable and turn the corner here. But I'm just not sure how that's gonna play out. Anyways, just looking at the chart, you know, if we do start getting above $2 here on CGC, potentially a run up to the north side, which will be involved in on the swing side, even on the day trade side. So weed stocks are on watch, MSOS, TLRY, CGC, and so on. So I'm watching all of these weed stocks to see how they set up going forward. As I mentioned already, a little bit of weakness in the AI and the tech sector. Oracle taking a big nosedive. AVGO pulling back yesterday and today. Yesterday being Friday. AVGO pulling back Friday and today a little bit more. Showing you that possible potholes. We're hitting some potholes on the way up here on the market, and maybe some pullback is expected. Apple getting ready for a breakdown. Microsoft a little bit weaker. Meta holding off at the moment, but still looking ready to possibly go back for round number 2. Google breaking the most recent low that I was looking forward to see how it reacts around there. Now it's like closing below that 2 days back to back. So closing below 309.50 on Google back to back days, not really ideal situations on them. So you know, the bombs, I probably shouldn't be saying that word, but the bombs are blowing up, right? The things are reversing pretty hardly across the board, and possible turmoil in the water, possible turmoil in the water. However, you know, market's still at stone's throws distance away from all-time high. QQQ, S&P 500, very close to still all-time high. We'll see how it sets up. Bitcoin is an important factor as to how the overall market will play. I think for the overall market to be very bullish, Bitcoin has to join the party, and right now Bitcoin has been really struggling around this $95,000 area. And that's the level that I've been watching for quite some time. If we do get back above 95, I think it's 53 on IBIT, 53, 54 on IBIT that I'm watching. But as I was saying earlier, you know, if Bitcoin is not managing to stay above 90K, 95K, 100K, it's almost, I don't want to say impossible, but it's pretty hard to imagine the overall market, S&P 500, QQQ, make a new all-time high. So because of that, I am a little bit bearish across the board. And like I said earlier, my watch list for tomorrow is fairly light. Our earnings boards are coming to an end, but as one earnings season comes to an end, another new earnings season starts. But we do have some names from the last week of earnings board. PL is a good name to keep an eye on. Rocket Lab, not an earnings name, but it's a good name to keep an eye on. Has been on a nice little journey to the upside. A little bit of a pullback today on that upside momentum. So red day number 2, possibly red day number 3 on the pop. We'll see how it plays out. Potentially short opportunity already seems like it's playing out right around the $55 area. So as I said, short stream today, very short watch list, not really too much to talk about. I quickly want to glance over at RR pulling back quite a bit too at the moment. Looks like robotic sector took a little bit of a heat from the iRobot news, sadly. SYM, another robot stock that took a little bit of a nosedive when they announced their what was it, when they announced the offering. SERV also pulling back over here. A lot of them taking some heat because of iRobot, I believe, but possibly some opportunities coming in on the dips over here for these bad boys. Let's see who's in the chat. We got TH, Angry Buddha, CDP, how you guys doing? I can tell you illegal growers are having a hard time moving product. It's been getting worse and worse. They are even trying to sell their operations. Yeah, I can agree with that. I know a couple growers, and they've been struggling to really move their product. Not illegal growers, even legal growers. Most of them are it's very regulated too now, right? And some of these growers who are not really growing it with the proper regulations are kind of stuck with a lot of things too. But you know, I'm telling you, think if illegal growers are not able to sell something for 10 bucks, because ideally, you know, me being the consumer, I'm gonna go spend the same 10 bucks and get a way better regulated, I'm putting regulated in quotes, regulated, tested product out there, sometimes even get more, right? Whereas if I go to a black market, as they call it, the same 10 bucks wouldn't even give me a gram. It would give me like a 0.8 or a 0.9, right? So things considered like that is just black market's gonna get wiped out. The open market is already not profitable, no matter how much they've been trying to push these products. So I just don't see how wheat stocks in America are going to come out on top with this catalyst. If it does, we'll have to eat my words then. But US, yeah, it's the fact that the US market is so large that they could have the potential to turn the tides. Whereas in Canada, even though it was fully legal in Canada, it's just not as many people compared to America. And because of that, it wasn't so easy to move the amount of product that they want to. But maybe now you will be able to move the product you want to, but are you going to ramp up the supply because you see a little growth in demand? And then eventually you're going to run into that supply demand equilibrium cross point. And then how do you deal with that situation? Because last time we've seen you deal with that situation, that was in a horrible way. And then look what happened to the stock price. I'm just not a weed stock believer. That's all. Oracle negative news on Paramount News, and do not buy Oracle, says TH. Thank you, TH. Hi everyone. CDP, what's up, brother? How you doing? Live with Alex. Alex, always good to see you in the house, my dog. How you doing? Hopefully you had a good day so far. Hopefully everyone is having a good day and making some money on the market. As I said though, guys, short stream today. I don't really have anything else to talk about. If you guys have any names, let me know. Pull up, put some names in the chat. I'll take a quick little look at it. But if not, then I'm gonna head over and go make some food. I'm gonna experiment with making some gravy. I've been wanting to get some. It's not gonna be beef gravy because my parents don't eat beef. But I've been wanting to experiment with some chicken gravy. And homemade fries. So McCain fries in the air fryer. I'm gonna try and make some gravy at home right now. I also need to do some chores for my backyard. I gotta put some of the patio stuff away. I gotta pull out the snowblower, something that I should have done a long time ago, which I haven't. So I've been putting away on doing that stuff. So if there's nothing else to talk about, nice little short 30-minute stream today. Quick little glance over the earnings board, quick little glance over the economic calendar, and very hot stuff coming out Thursday, hot stuff coming out Wednesday in terms of IPOs, and some hot stuff tomorrow on Tuesday. So be ready, lots of fireworks. Let's go make some money, and keep in mind that Friday is triple witching, so lots of fireworks over there too. I'll catch you guys next time. TraderPrad out. Peace.